Artificial intelligence has made it remarkably easy to create something that looks like a professional design. Give an AI tool a prompt and, within seconds, it can generate a logo concept, social media graphic, advertisement, illustration, or even the beginnings of an entire visual identity. For businesses that once struggled to create anything beyond a basic template, that can be incredibly useful. But there is a downside to making design easier to generate. When everyone has access to the same tools, the same prompts, and many of the same visual trends, everything can start to look remarkably similar. As more businesses rely on AI-generated imagery and design, standing out visually may actually become harder. That is exactly why custom, professional graphic design may be more valuable than ever. Good enough is becoming the new average. For years, one of the biggest challenges businesses faced was simply producing marketing materials that looked professional. AI and template-based design platforms have dramatically lowered that barrier, making it possible for almost anyone to create something visually appealing without years of design experience. The result is that good enough design is becoming increasingly easy to produce. But if every business can create attractive graphics alone are no longer much of a differentiator. A professionally designed brochure, website, direct mail piece, or social media graphic should do more than look nice. It should communicate something specific about the organization behind it. It should help answer questions such as who you are trying to reach, what makes you different, and what someone should remember after seeing your marketing. Those questions cannot always be answered by asking an AI platform to simply make this look professional. The AI look is already becoming familiar. AI-generated imagery continues to improve, but many of us are already becoming surprisingly good at recognizing certain visual patterns. The overly perfect lighting, dramatic depth of field, spotless office environments, carefully arranged desks, and conveniently diverse groups of smiling people gathered around a laptop are becoming increasingly familiar. And, for some reason, there often seems to be an unnecessary plant somewhere in the background. There is nothing inherently wrong with any of those elements. The problem comes when thousands of businesses begin using variations of the same visual language. What once looked impressive can quickly start to look familiar, and what once seemed modern can begin to feel generic. A design may still technically look professional, but if it resembles everything else your audience is seeing, it may say very little that is distinctive about your business. Your brand shouldn't look like everyone else's prompt. Strong graphic design has never simply been about decoration. A professional designer considers the brand, the audience, the competition, the medium, and the objective of the piece being created. The visual decisions are made intentionally rather than simply because they look appealing. Typography can make a company feel established, approachable, sophisticated, or energetic. Color can create recognition. Photography and illustration can establish personality. Layout determines what someone notices first and how their attention moves through the message. Even seemingly small decisions can affect how a brand is perceived. Most importantly, those choices can be made specifically for your organization. That is difficult to accomplish when the creative process begins and ends with choosing the most attractive result from a collection of generated options. The goal should not simply be to find the design that looks the most impressive. It should be to create something that feels unmistakably connected to your business. Different is becoming more valuable. There is an interesting irony happening as AI becomes more capable. Technology is making it possible for almost anyone to create competent-looking design, while that abundance is simultaneously making original creative thinking more valuable. If your competitors are all using similar templates, imagery, and AI-generated aesthetics, custom design creates an opportunity to separate yourself visually. That could mean using original photography instead of generated people, developing custom illustrations, creating a distinctive typography system, or building layouts that do not simply follow the latest design trend. Standing out does not necessarily require louder graphics, brighter colors, or more elaborate layouts. In many cases, it simply means making thoughtful choices that everyone else is not making. A strong designer can also help identify where sameness is beginning to creep into a brand. Rather than automatically following whatever aesthetic is popular at the moment, The designer can ask whether that approach actually fits the organization and whether it helps the business look different from its competitors. AI can still be part of the creative process. None of this means designers should ignore artificial intelligence. AI can be an incredibly useful creative tool, and it will almost certainly become a normal part of many professional design workflows. Designers can use AI to explore concepts, develop rough ideas, generate supporting imagery, accelerate repetitive tasks, or experiment with directions that might otherwise take much longer to visualize. In that sense, AI is simply another tool, much like stock photography, digital illustration, desktop publishing software, or any number of technologies that changed the creative industry before it. The important distinction is between using AI as part of the design process and allowing AI to make the design decisions. AI can help produce possibilities. A designer still needs to decide which possibilities make sense. The real value of design is in the decisions. The value of professional graphic design has never really been the ability to operate software. The software has always changed. What matters is the ability to make good decisions. A designer is constantly evaluating questions such as, what should be emphasized? What can be removed? What will resonate with this particular audience? Does this feel consistent with the brand? Does it look too much like the competition? Will it reproduce properly in print and digital formats? Does it work at different sizes? Is the message immediately understandable? And will someone remember it after they have seen it? AI can generate hundreds of possibilities very quickly. Professional design is about understanding which possibility actually solves the problem. That distinction becomes even more important when creating visual content becomes almost effortless. When anyone can create something worth remembering. AI is going to continue changing graphic design. The technology will improve, the tools will become easier to use, and generating attractive visual content will become increasingly commonplace. Businesses will have more ways than ever to create marketing materials quickly and inexpensively. That does not make professional graphic design irrelevant. It raises the bar. When everyone can create something that looks good, businesses need to think beyond simply looking good. They need to look recognizable, intentional, and different enough to be remembered. In an age when it is becoming easier for everything to look the same, custom graphic design gives businesses an opportunity to make sure they do not.